Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dorey, and we are live on Facebook because when I tried to go live on my brand new YouTube channel, it said you have to create 50 short videos before you can go live from your channel. So, unexpected circumstances, that's life. But I said I'd do my day one workout today, and I am doing my day one workout today. So, I am on my exercise ball, and I'm going to bounce, and I'm going to dance, and I'm going to have Alexa set a timer for 10 minutes.
Good morning, Dorey. 10 minutes, starting now. By the way, I have a few tips for using timers. You want to hear them?
No. Okay, so, day one workout, and I'm bouncing on my exercise ball. Now, I know that some of you are probably like, that's not a workout. Okay, well, for you, you can do whatever workout works for you. Part of the reason I'm starting this is we all have to start somewhere, you know? And for me, this is where I am. This is where I'm starting. This is one of the things that my body can do. And this is something that does get my heart pumping. And I'm already starting to feel it, right? Because I'm quite out of shape. Now, earlier this year, I was doing really well. So, a little bit of backstory. My name is Dorey. I live in Missoula, Montana. I am a former bilingual elementary education teacher who has turned, I am now a private tutor, and I do copywriting and marketing, and I'm an intuitive. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a healer. I am a psychic medium. I'm an author. And I'm very in tune with my spirit guides and my ancestors. And so personal health struggle, I have battled my weight I made a subconscious decision at the age of 3 to gain weight to protect myself. And that's a story for another day. So, I've lost over 100 pounds several times in a year, okay? But I always gained it back. And, the subconscious mind and the nervous system are very powerful, and the nervous system's job is to keep you alive. And the nervous system is typically acting on old information. And so researchers have discovered that there is more information going from your body up than from your mind down. And my body has that set programming that it needs to hold extra weight to protect me. All right? And so, while my conscious mind says, hey, I want to be healthy, I want to lose weight, I don't want to, I want to be in a smaller, healthier body. And, and I can get on the program, and I can do my exercise, and I can do my eating and get everything in alignment and work really hard and lose. 1 year it was 132 pounds in a year. 1 year it was 100 pounds in 9 months. Okay. So I know how to do that, right? But then at some point, my body and nervous system override that conscious mind and willpower and say, no, it's not safe. This isn't safe. I need to gain that weight. I need that weight to protect me. And so I start gaining it back. And so this is, that cycle. This is why so many people, I know there are so many people out there who know what this struggle is like. And whether they are my size or it's 20 or 30 pounds, right? It's the same thing. There's something in your nervous system and body that is kicking on to protect you, okay? So now that I've learned about that and I understand it, and I also know that there are a lot of emotional issues, okay? Earlier this year, I was doing really well. I'd lost 50 pounds. And I did a huge reverse of my A1C blood sugar levels with diabetes, because I literally hit crisis point in July and was in the ER because my blood sugar was so high. All right. And between that, kind of opening my eyes, and a wonderful man who mansplained to me how going on insulin is inevitable and there is absolutely no way you can reverse this without going on insulin. And I said, oh yeah? Watch me. And I took my A1C from 10.8 in July to 7.0 in October. That's 3 months, okay? Several years ago, when I went from 7.2 to 6.5, so a 0.7 drop in 3 months, my doctor was really impressed and proud of me. That was a huge accomplishment. Well, this year I did in the same amount of time. I went from 10.8 to 7.0. That's 3.8. All right? That's more than 5 times as much as I did a couple of years ago that my doctor was so impressed with. Now, yes, I'm on medication because I hit that crisis point. I'm not on insulin, but I am on 2 other medications for my diabetes. I'm on Victoza, and I'm also on pioglitazide. And I can go more into what I'm on and why I'm on them in another video. But like the clinical pharmacist and my doctor both said when I was like, I know I'm on medication, they're like, oh, no. There is no medication on this planet that can help somebody go from 10.8 to 7.0 in 3 months. I mean, it is absolutely shocking and miraculous and unheard of for somebody to do that. Now, my willpower was there. I had the resolve. I had my why. I was like, A, I don't want to end up in the ER again. B, I don't want to go on insulin because I know that once you're on insulin and it's unlikely that you're going to get off of it. And C, I had a man tell me I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh yeah, you want to bet? I am stubborn AF. And if somebody tells me that I can't do something, and it's something that I want to do, you better believe I'm going to show them what's true. And so, I had what I needed. I had support. I had my mom cheering me on. I was buying healthy foods and prepping those healthy foods for my mom and I to eat together, okay? So I had a buddy system. I was working on it with somebody else. I also had my absolutely wonderfully generous Aunt Michelle, who agreed to pay for a membership at the Peak Wellness so that I could get exercise in the pool, okay? Because that is an exercise method that really works for me, and it's something that I have shown myself time and again that I will be consistent because it's something I love, all right? And so I had all of the pieces that I put together, right? And then, of course, yes, we added the medication because I was at a crisis point health-wise. And so I was doing so great. I lost 50 pounds. And then in October, when we celebrated that I had gone from 10.8 to 7.0, and like the doctor that I was in with who, had me tested, had messaged my other doctor. And so she came into the room to give me a hug and celebrate. And it was like this huge, amazing accomplishment. Okay. Well, at that moment, it was like a switch was flipped in my brain. And all of a sudden, my brain's like, junk food. I want junk food. Didn't care what it was. Had to be sugar, had to be salty, had to be crunchy. I just wanted it. And I wanted to eat everything in sight. And I was like, what's going on? And I did my best to fight it. But my conscious mind and willpower were not strong enough to fight it on my own. All right, and so going back to how I did the reversing the blood sugar, because I know people are going to ask about that, and I will make more videos that are more specific about that reversing the blood sugar. In addition to changing my diet, I was working with my therapist. I also worked with a spiritual healer, and we actually went into my pancreas and got my 7-year-old self, who was bitter and confused and didn't understand what was happening, and decided that she needed to eat everything, eat. And that was one of the only things I had control over, was what I put in my mouth and how much physical activity I was willing to do. And so I was rebelling against my father's abuse and neglect by punishing myself and gaining weight and sabotaging my own health. But that's neither here nor there. It's part of who I am. It's part of my journey, and it's made me who I am today. Alexa, stop. Okay, we hit the 10-minute mark, and I'm going to keep going because I have more to talk about, and I'm feeling good, okay? I can see that people are watching me live. Thank you so much for being there. I can see that you guys are making comments, but I cannot read them from this far away, so I will definitely be coming in and responding to all of your comments when after I finish the video, and I can have the comments up here with me. I do need to take just a momentary pause to come over and grab my water because I forgot to bring it over here with me. So, all right, let's keep going. Ooh, I see the hearts. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And, if you are able to join with me for physical activity and movement, so you can see my heart rate's up, but I'm getting a little short of breath, and that's a good thing. All right. If you are in a place and time where you're able to join in and do some sort of physical activity with me, great. If you don't have an exercise ball, my friend Lydia over at Avanti Wellness, who is the one who inspired me to start doing this daily exercise, showing up live and doing it, she uses a rebounder, and she has a whole community of people who use their rebounders with her. You don't have that? Go for a walk. It's not nice out and you can't go for a walk outside? March in place. Whatever it is, or turn on some music. One of my favorite ways to exercise, I turn on music and I dance around the house. And if it wasn't for, the whole, copyright laws and stuff like that, I'd have music going right now. I had a job where I had my exercise ball there, and part of the day I'd sit on my chair and part of the day I'd sit on the exercise ball because it's really good for my back. And, I'd be working away with my headphones on, and I'm dancing around, singing along in my head and working away. And all of a sudden I look up one day and this guy was standing next to my cubicle, like this with a grin on his face, just watching the show. So, be silly, do something, whatever it is. And if now's not a good time and, you're at work or you're driving or something like that, well, I hope you're not watching this video while you're driving, but you know what I mean. You're in the middle of something else and doing physical activity yourself right now is not an option. That's okay. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next time I'm live, maybe a little bit later today. My friend Tasha Renee was doing her exercise live on Facebook and on her story and daily for quite some time. And there were definitely days that I was like, oh, that's right, I need to move. And I'd turn on a seated Tai Chi video, or I was like, oh, yep, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the pool, I'm going to get my exercise in. All right. So I know that seeing somebody else doing the work, showing up, taking action in pursuit of their dreams, in pursuit of their goals, can be an inspiration and motivate the rest of us to do it. Now, as I was talking about earlier, I'm very in touch with spirit, and I get messages from spirit and ancestors all the time. And one day, this was earlier this year when I was doing so well losing weight, I got the message that you've done your weight loss journey in private long enough. It's time to take it public. And I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? Right? And so, then fast forward, November 14th, I went over to my mama's house and she'd been in the hospital the end of October and she wasn't doing well and she was really struggling, and I brought over, you know, some bottled water for her because she was out, and I was in a hurry because I had to do it between tutoring assignments because I had another stop I had to make at the bank that had to be done by a certain time, and so my plan was to just go in, drop off her water, and leave. Well, I went in the house, put the water on her table for her, and got a few into the fridge, and went to use the restroom. Now, I'm going to tell you, as I walked in the door, there was something that, like, my mind's like, oh, Mom, why? You know, this isn't, we gotta work on this. We gotta work on this. But something told me not to scold her for it. You know, just, you know, bite your tongue. You don't need to say something. All right? So instead of just saying, hi, here's your water, I love you, goodbye, something told me to sit on the side of the bed with her. And, you know, she had been sick and was not doing well. And the doctor in the hospital made some huge drastic changes to her medications. And she was not doing well with those. The pharmacy wouldn't make the changes without getting permission from her psychiatrist, but they neglected to reach out to her primary care doctor and get consent from her. So, she was really struggling. So anyway, I was in the habit, we would talk on the phone several times a day, you know, and I was over there multiple times a week. I was her primary caregiver. I took her to most of her doctor's appointments. You know, we were in constant contact. Well, ever since the day she had gone into the hospital 3 weeks before, she hadn't been up to talking on the phone multiple times a day. And in fact, the day before, November 13th, I was talking to both my business healer and coach, Meg Zeke, and one of my best friends, Kelly. And I was like, I miss my mom, and my therapist too. I was like, I'm used to talking to her several times a day, and, you know, she doesn't feel up to talking on the phone at all, and maybe once for a quick short talk, and usually it's just a text here and there, and like, you know, and going over there and doing stuff for her, but she's, you know, not feeling up to talking or doing anything, and I'm really missing that. Like, I am so dependent on those daily check-ins and conversations with her. You know, she supports me and, you know, boosts me up when I'm struggling and gives me advice and answers questions and, you know, and things like that. And so that was, you know, I mean, I have lots of friends and stuff, but she was the main person that I saw and talked to. And so I was really struggling with it. And Meg actually asked me to journal. She's like, why don't you journal on how this is happening for you? Well, I didn't even sit down to journal, but as I was going to bed that night, Spirit was like, this is happening for you because you've been trying to heal the codependency and have her be less overly dependent on you, but you have to heal your dependence on her as well. And I remember waking up Tuesday morning and saying, I'm not ready for that level of honesty. Thank you very much. And so then, you know, Tuesday night, I was just going to run in and drop the stuff off. And I was like, no, and something told me to sit on the side of the bed with her. And she was in withdrawals from the medications because of what the doctor at the hospital, the changes she made without my mom's primary care doctor's approval. And she was miserable. And she was lying in bed and her feet were shaking. And I sat at the foot of her bed and I put my hand on her feet and I just told her, I was like, Mom, I miss you. I need my mommy back. And she goes, yeah, it's been a little while. I said, it's been too long. I love you so much. I need you. And I need you to get better. And we talked for a few minutes and, you know, and I was like, Mom, I'm so worried that you're going to end up back in the hospital because you are not eating anything and you're drinking all this water. Well, the reason she landed in the hospital in the first place was because her sodium was too low. And so not eating anything and drinking all this water is, you know, contributes to that. I mean, they had her on liquid restrictions while she was in the hospital. And truth be told, she should not have been sent home from the hospital. She should have been put in like a rehab facility to where that could be monitored and things could be taken care of, but hindsight's 20/20, right? So anyway, I was like, I'm so worried you're going to end up back in the hospital. And, the previous Saturday, I had brought her, some chocolate milkshakes from Dairy Queen because she wanted chocolate milkshakes. And I was like, well, can I get, chocolate ice cream at the store when I get your other grocery, when I do my grocery shopping? She's like, no, I need chocolate milkshakes. And I was like, okay. And she goes, bring me lots so you don't have to keep coming back with them all the time. I was like, okay. And so I went to Dairy Queen and I bought her 3 chocolate milkshakes. And I also got her some, chocolate protein drinks and, yogurt smoothie and a couple of things like that. And just like a plain chocolate milk. Just thinking like, okay, let's see if we can, get some more nutrition in addition to those milkshakes. And she hadn't touched a single one of them. Had not touched any of them from Saturday to Tuesday. So I'm very concerned, and I tell her how much I love her. She tells me how much she loves me. And I leave and I go home and I do my tutoring session and whatever else that night. And Wednesday morning, I woke up to my doorbell ringing. And it was like 9:30, 9:45. I was like, who's at the door? I don't have any packages coming. What's going on? And so I come out and I open the door and there are 2 policemen standing in the yard. And I'm like, what's going on? And they said, are you Dorey Curran? And I said, yes. And they said, Kathleen O'Dwyer. And I said, yeah, that's my mom. And they said, well, she passed during the night. And of course I'm shocked and can't believe it and devastated and all of the emotions all at once, right? And, he said she had a medical event in the night, and that was really as descriptive as he said. Anyway, so fast forward, dealing with all the family stuff and all of this and losing my mom. So, of course, losing the most important person in my life. She was my mom, my best friend, my cheerleader, my shining star. She was my entire world, And so losing her, of course, I'm going to be in grief and I'm not going to be taking the best care of myself. And so I fell back into old patterns and my, my fallback coping strategy, which is eating junk, binge eating chips and junk food and sugar and those sorts of things. And when I saw my doctor, when I saw our mutual doctor the week after she died, which the appointment was already scheduled, she came in and gave me a big hug and, we talked about it and she was so concerned. She had called my mom on the 13th because she was like, why didn't the pharmacy call me about these med changes? And she had tried getting a hold of my mom on the 13th. So, anyway, it was all of that and, she cried with me while we talked about my mom and losing her. So anyway, I fall back into the patterns, and when I saw my doctor 2 weeks ago, my other doctor, because that doctor is no longer with the program, so I have to find a new doctor. And I saw another practitioner that I see at the same facility so that I could get her input on who would be a good fit for me. And, of course, it's the first time telling her and reliving all the details and crying about that. And I also weighed in that day, and I weighed in heavier than I've ever weighed in my entire life. I was like, oh my God, Dorey, we got to get this under control. And I talked to her about it, and she said, recommend writing down everything that I eat, and asked if I wanted to go to a nutritionist. And I was like, dietitian? I was like, no, because what the dietitians tell you to eat, that's not actually what's healthy. And that was part of the issue that I had with the man who mansplained about the insulin, was he's telling me he took out the My Plate guidelines, and I was like, you can put that in the garbage because that's exactly what it is. Now, as somebody who has battled weight and trying to lose weight and has been successful losing weight many, many times over my life and worked with dietitians and worked with, all the things, I know, and this is not me being arrogant, I know a lot more about what is actually truly healthy and good for the body, and especially what is truly healthy and good for my body, than most people. In fact, when I went to a naturopath a couple of years ago, I was like, well, this is what I'm doing. And she's like, okay, so what do you need me for? You're already doing what you need to do. Anyway, and even after seeing Brittany and being like, okay, so I should write down what I eat. Well, I don't want to write down what I eat because I'm still eating shit that I shouldn't be eating. And I know that. And I'm not ready to stop, even though I know I need to. So, fast forward to last Wednesday, and in this program that I'm in, we had a guest speaker, and Alexis Olson came in to do a self-hypnosis session with us. And, you know, she did a little intro to it and then like talked us through kind of the formula for creating your self-hypnosis, and then coached us through it. And then we all went on mute and created our own self-hypnosis recording. So mine was focused on earning money from my business and doing my healing work and my and that sort of thing. And then also doing the other part was weight loss and getting healthy and getting back to eating healthy foods and having the energy to prep those healthy foods and moving my body. And my friend Lydia had said she's moving more in 24, and I was like, oh, I like that. I'm going to adopt that too. And so anyway, I've started, Alexis told us that when she committed to listening to her self-hypnosis for 30 days, she transformed her entire life. And I was like, all right, great, I'm in. I will listen to mine every day for 30 days. And so Wednesday would have been day 1. So today was day 7 of listening to that. So all the quantum leaps, and I won't go into details, but had a conversation, had a really, really great phone call with Lydia. Sunday? Was it Sunday evening? Yeah, Sunday evening. And she told me that every day, she shows up and does a 10-minute workout on her rebounder, on her YouTube channel. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I could do that. And the light bulb went on, like, oh, here's where my weight loss journey goes public. Because I'd already been planning and strategizing and getting ready to launch a YouTube channel with my craft stuff. So then we're talking about doing 2 separate ones and coming up with a name and all of those sorts of things. And, part of me was just like, oh, managing multiple channels, that's going to be a lot and complicated. So the next morning when I got up and I was, doing research on the name being available and those sorts of things, and I went, keep it simple. Do it all under one channel and just have separate playlists. And so once I get to my 50 shirts where I can do lives on my YouTube, which I'm going to have to figure out how I can share this to my YouTube channel. Well, we'll figure out the technology as we go. I will start going live on YouTube. But until then, I will be live on my Facebook daily until I can start doing it live on my YouTube. And they will be shared to the YouTube as well so that it's tracked in both places. Hopefully I can do that. But anyway, what I am committing to is I will show up live and do my workouts live. And I would love for you to join me. And no, it will not be the same time every day because life is life. And so that's one of the things. Another thing, I'm really into handcrafting, custom created handmade journals. And so some of my videos will be the camera in a holder above my craft table as I'm working and showing you how I do stuff. Okay. Some of my videos will be, I am getting ready. I'm still in the research process, but I want to create and bake with my own gluten-free sourdough starter. So this is something I've been looking into and researching for a while and getting ready to start. So soon, but not quite yet. Also crochet is a big thing for me, and like just whatever it is, the different healing work and magical work and stuff that I do will be shared on my YouTube channel, Cauldron of Crafty Creations. And so I would love for you to come along with me on this journey. And I will also be talking about grief and mental health. I have bipolar disorder. I have diabetes. those are things that I'm going to be talking about, and sharing, you know, deeply personal stuff about my journey. And so if that's something, if any of those things interest you, I'd welcome you to pop over to YouTube and subscribe. I will drop the link in here when I'm done. And I'm feeling like I'm my body's like, okay, I'm a little worn out. We can end the workout now. So the goal is to show up for 10 minutes a day. Some days, like today, I'll get to talking and be like, okay, we're gonna keep going. And I know there are gonna be days that just getting in 10 minutes is gonna be a struggle for me, but I'm committed to showing up for me, and I'm committed to showing up for you. So thank you so much for watching, whether live or on the replay. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to have your questions. What are things you would like to see on my Cauldron of Crafty Creations videos? And also, one more thing, I will be starting, not quite there yet, but I will also be starting a Cauldron of Crafty Creations for Kids channel, which will have fun, creative things that will also have some, you know, magical stuff and working with the law of attraction, and also some kind of practical, like, emotional management strategies and things like that. So look for that coming up soon. And again, thanks for joining. I love and appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you do something today that sets your soul on fire and makes you smile. Bye.